Alright, so the sun has finally come out, so I've got a chance to shoot a video. Now today's video is going to be quick because it's Friday. I've got to edit this today so you guys can see it tomorrow, so we're going to just cut the tiff tuff today. And I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to dealio with it, because I'm going to bring the height up a little bit because we are starting to push into the cooler months, but it is really starting to come along. Yo mate, what up? Welcome to another lawn tip vid. So this is the only day this week it's been dry. Monday was dry, but I didn't do anything on camera. But yeah, as you can see, I haven't mowed the tiff tuff since I mowed it on Saturday was the last time, so it's nearly been a week since I last mowed this, but it's really started creeping. So before we start anything, let me just show you some before and afters from last week, and even one from 3 days ago as well. So this is how it is currently looking, like this. And then here's a shot from about a week ago, about a week and a day, because I shot a video last Thursday, today's Friday. And then how it looked midweek when we got all that rain, and then how it is looking today as well. So as you can see, it's long, it's grown quite a bit. The green is really starting to fill in, as I showed you guys on Wednesday's video. All bits shooting in those areas through here. And even, this is one area I really wanted to show you guys, up the back here. So last week I took a shot of this area just here, just because I want to see how much that Fertec Bio would help push some growth into this area here. So if you have a look from last week's video, so this is this area here. So this is still filling in, but we can see it's creeping like a crazy amount. So it has creeped quite a bit from last week. So I reckon that Fertec Bio, is really starting to work. So I'm still going to keep trialing it. I'm going to try it on the rye. I might spray the rye tomorrow with it. But yeah, it seems to be working well. Lawn looks good anyway. Okay, well, since I haven't got much time, going to get the edging, whip snipping done, and then we'll get into a mow. I have to adjust the mowers too, because I used the rover on the ryegrass around the edges last week. Took it back up to 20 mil, so I've taken it back down to 9. Might even put it at 10, just so it's a little bit longer around the outsides, so there's a good definition between the apron and the green there. And then we'll set the Protea. Well, I'll tell you guys what I'm going to set it to today. So let's just set this rover to 10 mil. You can keep it at 10 mil just so it's easy to remember too. And 10 mil for an apron is it's still pretty short. We used to go around 12 mil at the golf course. So set it to 10. Now a couple of people have been asking about this Hyder cut bar. And where I got it from, I did get it from MacArthur Mowers. It actually came with the Protea, and I did buy one from them a couple of years back as well. But you can make these up yourself. Like, it's just a bit of steel, square bit of steel, flat steel, with just seriously, it's just a wing nut and a bolt, a threaded bolt. That's all there is to it. It just needs to be nice and straight so you can set your Hyder cut, because obviously the bottom of that, the head of that bolt, why did I not forget what that was saying? Anyway, goes against that flat steel, and then we'll put it between the rollers, and then you slot it on, and that's how you get your Hyder cut. That's all there really is to it. I've talked about it a lot in videos, so I won't go too in depth today. But that is at 8 mil. Adjust it out a little bit. It's going to be at bang on 10. Right, that's pretty much bang on 10 mil across the board. Sweet. Always like to double check on every single end to see if it feels the same, because if it doesn't, potentially your rear roller could be out on one of these mowers here. And I'll just quickly adjust the reel to bed knife as well. Still a little bit tight, but it's not too bad. There is a bit of grasp by creating pressure in there, so I don't know. Anyway, it does need a backlap, possibly a grind. Like, it needs to be ground professionally, because when I back it off too lightly, it doesn't cut paper, which means, yeah, it needs to be adjusted. quickly show you before we keep going how much it cut off. So it wasn't a heap, but it was enough to slightly cut into the crown because it's been growing so much. See how it's slightly yellowed? So if we let that go any longer, I reckon we would have stressed the plant out quite a bit. But it did cut a bit. Cut a couple of mil. Here's a good comparison. There and there. So yeah, it wasn't a whole heap, but I reckon that's a good height. I'm happy with that. Just gotta make sure I keep regularly mowing now. It was loving the daily mows, and then we got that rain, and it's got 4 days out of it. So that's one thing to be careful with this Tiff Tuff and some other Cooch varieties is if you let it get out of control, it will go yellow like that if you let it go for like 5 or 6 days. So I've talked about it before, but if that happens and it really scalps, that's when you have to reset your heights. You have to drop a couple of mil down below what you're at the moment and then raise it back up to your normal cutting height. Keep cutting, and then it allows the actual plant to shoot from the crowns we've cut down to up to your normal cutting height. So you're technically cutting into the crowns, so we were very close to cutting into the crowns, which would have meant we'd had to reset the cutting height, but we're okay, it'll be fine. Tell you what, after that mow, it looks mint, looks so good. Woo boy. A little bit of scalp in there, as you can see. Well, I'd say it only just nicked into the crown because you can see a slight discoloration, but it's not like scalping, like it's close. So I think if we had to cut it down to 9 mil, we would have 100% got a little bit more of a yellow cast across the whole lawn. But as you can see, it's only just cutting the crowns there. You can see like it's, I don't know if you can see it on camera. Sorry if you can't. But basically, we're cutting past the leaf blade into the actual stem, which is what we call the crown of the plant. But yeah, look at that. It is looking so lush. Nothing beats rain, man. Absolutely nothing beats rain. So that's that all done. So we got a bit out of the catcher. Think about this, a tiny area. Look, it would only be, I reckon it'd be 20 square meters, maybe 25. I'd say about 25 square meters. This is how much we get off it in the catcher. So there's a bit, and that's pretty fine. You know what I mean? We got a bit off there. Smells good. I love that smell. Oh, delicious. Seriously though, I do love the smell of cut grass. Right, so I know we're at 4 mil, so I'm just going to quickly adjust these height adjusters, which this is the handiest thing about this machine. You don't have to undo a locking nut or anything, you just let loose and go for it. Right, I'm going to go 6.5 mil because I don't want to scalp it because it's quite long. And let's just see how it goes, and we can bring it down in the second cut. Alright, catcher on again, we'll see how much we get so we can judge sort of how much we're taking off. I never put the catcher off on the green anyway, so that's why I'm putting it on. But let's give it a cut and see how it goes at 6.5 mil, and we will go down from there if we can. If it's scalping, I'm not taking it down. And the reason behind this too is, so I didn't explain myself why I'm not going to take it down, is because we're heading into winter. Our max day temps at the moment are like 19, 20, and our night temps are getting below 10 degrees. Today's a bit humid, which is good for the green. Even though we're at 9, 10, it probably feels like 24, 25 because it's a bit sticky because of the rain. But tell you what, I've got a really small window to get this to fill in, so I'm going to bring it up just at the moment and we'll just go from there. It's sort of what I have to do, which is a bit of a bummer. Sort of sucks that I got water on this lawn so late with the bore being installed later in the season. If I'd have got it done at the start of the season, it would have been awesome. But anyway, let's give it a cut and let's just see how it looks. Right, so we basically cut nothing there. I only nipped the top off. Look inside the catcher. There's basically no short stuff. That's just stuff that blew in from the outside. So we basically cut nothing more than anything. We just rolled it over a bit. As you can see, grass looks a bit long. So it's even hard to determine between the apron and the green as well. So let's bring it down half a mil, which will be 2 clicks on those height adjusters, and let's see how it turns out. And this is what I would do if you've had a big long rain period. Bring your height up higher than you normally would, give it a cut, and then give it a quick test run a little bit lower, and if it starts scalping, you have to do a little bit higher for a while, unless you decide to reset it like I talked about earlier. Okay, so that's now at 6 mil and it looks a lot tidier. Sorry, I was waving to the neighbour and then I accidentally dug into the side a bit. But it wasn't actually the mower that dug into the side. I think the height cut adjuster sort of dropped into the long grass a bit, so that's fine. Didn't even cut into it, it's just sort of ripped it up a little bit. Anyway, as you can see, I'll tell you what, I'm nearly happy with that height and I might keep it there. It's still a little bit slow, I reckon. Just a smidge slow. Yeah, I can see some blades sticking up too. Let's bring it down. Or should I go half? I'm going to go half a mil down again, but if it starts to go yellow at all after a couple of steps, bring it back up a quarter. Because yeah, there's just a few blades sticking up still. Half a mil. 2 turns. I'm scared, Mum. You know, a quick thing, I haven't actually checked if this thing is cutting paper. Oof, I better do that. Right, so I actually haven't checked this yet to see if it's cutting paper, which is, I don't know why I haven't done it. Just gotta make sure. Oh, it is not. So, got an Allen key here. Yes. That took way too long. Sorry, I was trying to figure out how this whole adjustment worked from the reel to bed knife, and then I stuffed it up, so I had to readjust it. Normally it would take you 10 seconds, but yes, silly me didn't look at the instructions. Just tried to figure it out. But no, let's cut. So, technically think it's gonna be cutting better. I'm gonna set it back to 5.5. So it's 5.5, and let's cut it again and see if it actually cuts more off. Yeah, I should have done that at the start. I'm so glad I brought the height back up. Mate, I don't even know why I didn't think to adjust that. It's something I normally do before every single mow, but like, new mower, just, I don't know, slipped my mind. Because I was looking at the leaf after we were cutting and there was bits laying over it, it just looked funky, and I was like, what is going on there? I should be cutting a bit crisper than that at this height. Especially leaving bits up at like 9 mil when they were supposed to be down at nearly 5. Sorry, just picking up some paper. Let me just show you how good this looks, guys. Like, mate. So as you can see, a lot more tight, that surface. Like, it is so much tighter. Man. That looks absolutely mint, like where the grass is, and I'm so glad the shoots all through here, so we're going to fill in, I reckon, hopefully before winter. Just got to keep up this liquid fert regime, but man, it looks tidy. Whew, let's roll a ball on it. So, same spot, just give it a tap. I hardly tapped that thing, look at that go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let me show you a bit of angle, but it's rolling better now. Try it again. So, from here, just a tiny little tap, tiny tap. Yeah, boy. That's just from like nicking the ball. That is crazy. Wow. So in all seriousness, I am stoked at how that is looking. I'm probably going to keep it about that 5.5 mil. I reckon I could probably squeeze it down to 5. It is still a little bit wet on the green though from all that rain we had, so I reckon it would start digging in on one side. It almost did actually up the top there, hence why I decided not to bring it down to that 5mm in the end. If I had it like the reel to bed knife loose like I did before, 5 would have been fine because it still wouldn't have been cutting. But the amount of like grass that came off after I cut it that time, yes, that's why guys, always make sure you check your reel to bed knife because you'll actually cut some grass. Right, well thanks guys so much for watching. Sorry for that was a bit of a short video, but hopefully you learned something from that, especially about adjusting your reel to your bed knife. But yeah, and how to look after your lawn after it's rained a bit and you need to bring it down again. And if you start scalping, make sure you don't cut into it unless you've got enough growing to actually let it grow back and come through from a scalp, because yeah, you can damage it if you do it too close to winter. So I probably wouldn't have done a scalp now because our temps are too cold, hence why I wanted to bring it down a little bit by a little bit. But yeah, thanks guys so much for watching, really appreciate it. Again, I'm still going to keep the fertilizer up to this, so keep an eye out for this, so I'll keep updating you. Going to try to get it to fill in before winter, as I've said. And we're getting there. There's still those couple of bare patches here and there, but there is shoots throughout it all. So if we keep pumping this liquid fert into it, keeping the water up to it, mowing it every single day, we're going to be sweet. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you enjoyed it. You guys have a good week. Alright, very quick update on the rye, just for the end of the video. So obviously I haven't got to mow it, but you can see it's grown a bit even more since the video the other day. Weeds are getting longer as well. I'm going to get a mow on this tomorrow and put some of that Fertec Bio on here tomorrow as well. Not really much more to show you. A couple more spots have got a bit thicker where it germinated, but there's nothing more exciting really. It's just nice and green from a bit of rain, because nothing beats rain. But yeah, I'll see you guys on Wednesday next week. Rolling so quick. Yeah.